Welcome back to Cheddar's News Wrap. We could know by Thursday whether President Trump's Supreme Court nominee Amy Coney Barrett will be sworn into the High Court. Earlier today, Judge Barrett was grilled on everything from the Affordable Care Act to the upcoming election and abortion. Joining us now is Andrew Kragie, Congressional Reporter at Law 360. Andrew, thank you so much for being on today. Let's start broadly. What is the big takeaway from today's hearing, at least in your opinion?
Well, the judge is definitely staking a claim for her independence. That's kind of the overarching theme today. She's saying she's independent from the president who's nominating her, from the conservative icon who was her mentor, Justice Scalia, and even from some academic arguments she made when she was a professor. Democrats are still focused on health care. They're warning about a case involving the Affordable Care Act, which Republicans say probably won't actually result in striking it down. And so Republicans are saying that's fear-mongering. They just don't have anything to attack based on her qualifications.
We've been hearing about this a lot, and we expected it today. Democrats really honing in on Roe v. Wade and Judge Barrett's view on abortion. I want you to watch a clip, and then we'll discuss after, Andrew.
Do you agree with Justice Scalia's view that Roe was wrongly decided?
In an area where precedent continues to be pressed and litigated, as is true of Casey, it would be particularly, it would actually be wrong and a violation of the canons for me to do that as a sitting judge. So if I express a view on a precedent one way or another, whether I say I love it or I hate it, it signals to litigants that I might tilt one way or another in a pending case.
Andrew, what is your reaction to this exchange? This is certainly a question that all of us were watching very closely.
Right, this is tricky because it's pretty typical that a judicial nominee will say they can't weigh in on either grading past cases or looking at, possible future issues that might come before them as judges. And it is in the Code of Judicial Ethics. So it's not like she's unique in what senators might say of dodging questions. She's just sticking to avoiding discussing past decisions or looking to future decisions in specific. She will talk about her, the time she's personally expressed opposition to abortion, but she's saying that, her personal views won't impact her judicial decision-making and that you shouldn't look to her mentor to guess how she would rule on anything.
Affordable Care Act also front and center today, Andrew. Judge Barrett saying she didn't promise the White House anything about any specific case. JD mentioned this earlier. We know the High Court is set to hear a challenge to the Obama-era health care law in November. Now, if Barrett is confirmed, what does that mean for Obamacare, Andrew?
It's hard to say. Our healthcare reporter at Law 360 had a really great piece with experts explaining why it's not a sure thing how she would vote, or even whether she would be a decisive vote. So it's one of those things where it's just speculative. Democrats, of course, would be happier if she wasn't voting on this, since she has been skeptical about earlier decisions upholding the law, but it's not, nobody can say how she would rule.
Judge Barrett, like you mentioned, did not give any firm answers, even neglecting to comment on the fact that voter intimidation is illegal. So what should voters and our viewers take away from these hearings where so little information is actually communicated with the public?
That's tricky. I think if you're watching this as a non-lawyer, as a, not a politician, I think what you should remember is that you're not wanting a judicial nominee to say how they would rule on a particular case. They're not allowed to do that. You want to see how they describe an issue, how they describe how they would make decisions. And in this particular case, the judge has been trying to reassure people that she does look to precedent, that she's not willing to throw out past cases just because she disagrees with them.
What do you expect to hear from lawmakers and Judge Barrett in the upcoming days?
Well, today's the marathon day. We are nowhere near done. This thing could go on till 9 or 10 p.m. tonight. Tomorrow will be a little bit shorter, but we might hear more sort of closing statements from senators. It might be less about questioning between senators and the nominee. It might be just senators making the case to viewers and to voters as to why this nominee should or shouldn't be confirmed. So if you want to learn more about this particular Supreme Court nominee and how she approaches judging and her personal views on some different issues, today's the day to tune in.
All right, Andrew Kragie, Congressional Reporter at Law 360. We always appreciate your time, Andrew. Thank you so much.